Hey all, what's going on? Jordan Connect here. I am live right now for the 38th episode of Embrace the Chase, and I am pumped up because we have Akbar on today, who is the CEO of Sheikh Consulting. I want to make sure I'm saying that right. He's a 2 Comma Club winner and a ClickFunnels expert. His content is incredible and fire, and we are very blessed to have him on today. Sir, is there anything that you would like to add to that?
No, thanks, man. I just trying to make my mom proud, I guess.
Absolutely love it. I love it. But for those of you watching live right now, if you have any questions, please just throw them down the link below, and I'll make sure to ask them throughout. But Akbar, if you could do me a huge favor as well as our audience, can you just kind of start from the beginning and tell us your story, how you went from being homeless to where you are today?
Yeah, man. Yeah, well, actually, before I was homeless, I was half dead. Long story short, look, I believe that a human is composed of different parts, right? You have your mental health, your physical health, your spiritual health, and your big why, right? So for me, all of this was off. Like, right? Broke away, in a toxic relationship. I wasn't very spiritual. I hated what I did for a living. So it's like I was like off, man. I was like messed up. That led me to a crazy journey of I guess depression, confusion, loneliness, and all that good entrepreneurial stuff, right? That led me to a lifestyle of poor decision making, which led me to partying too much. And I should have died, but I didn't. And I always kind of say it's funny because my dad always wanted me to go to Yale University to study. I didn't make it there, but I did end up in the emergency room, which I thought was kind of funny. So from partying too much, I ended up in the hospital. I should have died, but I didn't. I felt like God saved me. So kind of immediately dropped all my bad habits. I lost 50 pounds. I got out of my toxic relationships. I took my bumper sticker off with the McDonald's. I started getting into good habits. I left my my rock star friends and this and that. But I was still, I kind of was healing my orb, my relationship orb, my physical health, my mental health, my spiritual. I was fixing all these things, and I was doing well. But the one major thing is my big why. I didn't have one. I couldn't figure it out. That journey led me to being homeless. That kind of, what's a good word for it? Like that, I guess, and discover my roots and like go understand like what am I here for? Like, what am I doing? I can't continue on like this, like hating what I do. So in that journey, I ended up homeless. I ended up living in basically a janitor's closet in the back of an office building with no windows, no showers, no hot water for a little while in my hometown of outskirts of San Francisco. That's really where I was, and that's where I was finding out my why. And I was just searching every day on Craigslist out of all places, trying to figure out my why. And I'm fun, man. Sitting there, I'm just like, wow. I felt like Neo from the Matrix. I just kind of like saw everything for the whole time, right? I'm like, I know why that button is red. I know why she's smiling. I know why it says buy now and limited time only and like all this stuff. I'm like, it's like I understood it. I'm like, dude, this is brilliant. This is brilliant. The psychology of sales, I fell in love with it. Kind of a weird thing to say, but I did. I said, look, this is what I want to do, man. I love it a lot. That's kind of the start of my journey. Was really that. So then I didn't have any money. Obviously, I was homeless, but I needed to start an online business. I did have one possession to my name, and it was like an old beat-up car. It's like literally the only thing I had. That and some clothes. So I was crazy. Dude, you have nothing. You have one thing, like one little. Like, how are you gonna get around? Like, how are you gonna go like live? Like, nah, dude, we're gonna make this work, or we're gonna die trying. I sold my last possession, 2,000 to my name. Got into online business, man, and didn't make a sale actually my first whole month. So I'm sitting there homeless in a closet with no hot water, with no car, with now no money. And now no sale after a month. I'm just like, Okay, okay, all right, all right. I had two choices then. And this is kind of like my favorite part about the story, really, is I could do what frankly everyone else does and just give up and go get a job. Or or I could do what everyone else does and blame the system. Oh, it's a scam. Oh, it's a gimmick. Oh, it doesn't work. Oh, these cars and Ferraris, it's all rented. It's nonsense. This and that. Or I could look in the mirror and say, hey, you know what? Actually, talking to people every day. I'm not closing sales. Maybe it's me. Maybe I'm doing something wrong. You know what I mean? Kind of look in the mirror. And so I did that. And I tweaked my methodology. I tweaked my sales technique. And lo and behold, I had my first sale. And which was very kind of beautiful for me. And then it just kind of snowballed from there. You know, 500 a month, 1,000, 2,000, 5, 10, 20, 40, 80, and I went on and on. And it all just kind of started from that decision that, hey, man, it's not the system, it's me.
That's awesome. So then how did you get connected with ClickFunnels? Was it during that time or was this later?
Yeah, it was a little bit later in the journey, like very, I mean, pretty much right after that. As soon as I'd heard about ClickFunnels, that's cool when I first came out. And I actually just got into ClickFunnels like a year and some change ago.
Okay. You talk in your masterclass about, and it's something that's so simple, but I agree with you. It's something that people miss out on a lot, and that's just doing business ethically. So can you kind of talk about, was that the actual turning point for you, the way you started changing your sales process?
So, for me, right, it was about like, that's an interesting question. I'm trying to think, how did I change my sales process back then? I think what I was doing, right, was I was treating it as like, I think I was being too, you know what it was? I remember now, I was being too salesy, right? And the reality is like, actually, I'm glad you asked this question. I don't think it's a bunch of that's a good point. I realized that, you know what? You know what really sells? Being authentic. Like just being yourself and stop trying to be someone else. I think I was trying to be the person I thought they wanted to buy from. You know what I mean? That didn't work at all. So I just started being me, you know? I just started talking the way I talk. I just started telling them how I really feel. And, you know, I just started being really raw and authentic and real. And people buy from those they like and trust. And when they saw that kind of raw emotion, it was a lot easier to sell. Also, at that point, from that realization, I learned branded attraction-based marketing, which is very powerful. So, like, you know, they feel like they know me and they feel like we're friends. You know, I get people from all around the world calling me, never even met me before, you know, whipping out their credit card and willing to pay me high amounts of money. That's very fascinating. If you told someone that 10 years ago, I'm not even talking about like, say like 10, 50 years ago. If you just told us like 10, 50 years ago, that, hey, do you know that in a couple of years, people will be able, some guy in, I'm just trying to think of one of my, Ireland, recently, a guy from Ireland will never have met you before, will have seen a couple of your stuff online, will call you and pay you 10, 20, $30,000 in one phone call after never meeting you, and you have a funny name. That person probably will like fall off their chair laughing. That's the reality. You know, it happens all the time. You know, so it's really the power of attraction-based, content, value-based marketing.
So then question for you. John Lee Dumas and even Mark Lack and a couple other speakers have mentioned how making your first $1 million is the hardest, but after you've done it, you understand the process and it can easily be duplicated. I mean, you yourself built your first 7-figure business to the 2 Comma Club, and you've duplicated, I believe you said four more times since then? So,
well, we've helped several businesses reach the 7-figure, you know. And yeah, I mean, they are like, I mean, you saw in my masterclass, like generally speaking, you know, there's 7 prominent things that each one of them have at some level. So we kind of identified that, and that's kind of what we try to inject into each funnel that we help create for people.
So then obviously for those of you watching live or watching the replay, the link is already down below. Please go to his website and just join the masterclass. It's about an hour and 20-minute long video, and it's one of the best videos I have watched. He goes through a lot of really good technical stuff and just even stuff that you think is so simple. He explains it in a way that's just very eye-opening. So the follow-up question to that for you, Akbar, would kind of be, now that you've gotten to that point when you've hit 7 figures, I don't necessarily know if you can sum it up into one point, but what advice would you give to someone who's still struggling as a funnel hacker per se, or somebody who's trying to use ClickFunnels?
One thing is a little hard, especially if you really want one thing, I'll tell you, but I'd rather tell you a couple of things.
Go for it. You can give a couple things. Sure.
Number one is the toughest part, honestly. The number one toughest part, and people don't like to hear this, but it's real. Everybody wants to hear like that magic thing, right? Like that, do this one thing. Look at this thing. All you possibly do is go buy a lottery ticket. It's pretty much one thing you can do. Patience. And that's why that was my favorite part of the story, is that I could have given up when I was homeless and I cashed in 1 month went by, no sale. I know from experience 99% of people give up at that point. And obviously not everyone's going to be a millionaire. I'll put it this way, honestly, a 7-figure funnel is not long. It's actually a choice. I really want people to just pause, take a deep breath, and internalize this. Whether or not you have a 7-figure funnel is 100% your choice, right? Because generally speaking, you choose to give up, right? Which is what the majority of people do. Oh, things are not going their way after a month, they give up. I have this buddy, Carolina from Chile. I don't know if you heard about it.
Mm-mm.
It took her 6 months to make her first sale of working it full time every single day. 6 months. It took her a couple of years to get some sales decent enough to talk about. She just hit the 2-timer club now. But not giving up is number one, right? Number two is, you talk about funnel hacking. People have the wrong idea of what funnel hacking is. I'll tell you that much. If you think that you can go to a funnel, right? Take mine, for example. If you think you can go there, just copy it and paste it into your own, and think that you're going to make 7, 8, whatever figures or whatever, you've completely misunderstood what funnel hacking is. And it's not your fault, because honestly, no one really explains it. So let me explain what I feel funnel hacking. Funnel hacking is when you take a look at a successful funnel and you emulate their structure. So it's kind of like, what's popular right now is if you go to these trendy restaurants, I actually just went to one, they had what the hell is it called? Deconstructed cappuccino, right? It's like a glass of espresso, a shot of espresso, then a shot of milk, and then a little sugar, and you kind of have to. It's basically what a cappuccino is, but they took all the ingredients out and separated it, like the trendy thing. But you kind of have to do that with different funnels, and that's what I did. I would watch a webinar with a notebook, and I would say, okay, for example, he's telling a story, making sure to hit on these emotional points, and then he would teach something. And I'd be, okay, he taught this, and he related it back to his story. I'm watching it, kind of giving the director's cut on it, the behind the scenes view. I'm totally watching it from a different lens, seeing, interpreting what they want us to see. And that's your formula right there. So that's what you have to do with webinars, funnels. You have to see what steps are they putting you through, because everything's very purposeful. And why. Now, remember, your brand, your product, your service is your own. Everyone has their own unique fingerprint. You need to take that proven structure that works and melt your own brand and personality into it. Take a look at the masterclass you're sending everyone to. That funnel is a joke. I call it the homeless funnel because it's pretty much the same funnel I had when I was homeless. It's a complete joke. What do you call opt-in page to a webinar page to a call to action, so you set up an appointment with me. I mean, that's the funnel right there. You know what I mean? Super simplistic, but you have to dig a little deeper now. You have to say, okay, my opt-in is 70%. And for those of you who understand psychology of sales, you can look at my page and see why. And you can emulate those points in your own. And I did that recently. I did a talk in LA, and I kind of deconstructed my page a little, and people were doing it as I was speaking on their laptop. They were updating their own pages to do it, and that's fine. But they did it in their own. No one, the most problem, and this is like my gripe about Bitcoin, right? Is everyone's talking about Bitcoin, Bitcoin, Bitcoin. Well, that's cool and all, right? But what I try to tell people is, listen, the most profitable thing you can invest in is really yourself. The most profitable yourself. You know, so you have to take this proven structure and put your own personality into it. You know, otherwise it doesn't work. I think that's where a lot of people fail.
That's great advice.
Well, they don't know they should be doing it.
That's awesome. That was fire advice. Well, then, side question for you. So for everyone watching you right now, let's kind of talk about your current projects or even future projects. How can people reach out to you and work with you? Do you have like a course that you sell, or do you mainly just do consulting?
Yeah, man. So, interesting. I mean, I'm on Facebook. You know, I love entrepreneurs, man. I feel like entrepreneurs are the backbone of society. I feel they're inherently good people, and I feel that they want to give back to the families, communities, and favorite charities. Frankly, that's really why I do what I do. I mean, I don't really have to be doing this podcast. I'm actually in Sydney. I'm on vacation right now. I actually left vacation early to come here and talk to entrepreneurs, because here's how I'm making the world a better place. I'm helping entrepreneurs make more revenue. Take a portion, give it to their families, communities, and favorite charities, hence making the world a better place. Currently, I do that in a one-on-one fashion. If you have something ethical and honest and good to contribute to the world, I will help you. And you just watch my masterclass. You can schedule a call with me. So we'll be launching something next month, probably a course, and probably kind of more done-for-you stuff. But yeah, man, people can link up with me, you know, on Facebook. Check out I encourage people to check out my masterclass. We got some cool things. I got a little comic club on Facebook. It's fun. I like to do a lot of fun things in there. So I encourage all entrepreneurs to link up with each other, because you know, you are who you hang out with. You are the average of the 5 people you hang out with.
It's true. Well, I really want to respect your time, and I appreciate you for being on, especially on vacation. I didn't know that. Thank you so much. So I'll ask you the last question I ask every single guest on the show, and that's, is there anything on your heart or on your mind right now that you want people to know about? Now, whether that's specifically about you or a cause, you can kind of take this wherever you'd like.
Yeah, that's a cool question, man. The art of question asking. You've asked 2 pretty good questions today. That's really cool.
Appreciate that.
Honestly, what's on my mind right now is, you know, wrapping up 2017, man. I've been thinking about me, you know. I've been thinking about my goals, and I'm thinking about 2017. We gave 10% to charity. I'm trying to finalize giving 20% in 2018. I'm talking to my lawyers, accountants, and stuff, and trying to figure that out. But that's heavily on my mind right now, is to try to get 20%. My favorite cause right now, honestly, is easily sitesavers.org. Okay, now check it out. When I first, I'll tell you, when I first heard about this, I literally started crying. Honestly, you can literally give the gift of vision to blind children for $80. Okay, in third world countries, you have blind children who can't afford a very simple cataract surgery. They've got this little cyst in their eye. It's completely so they're blind. You can help them see for $80. So like when I heard that, man, I just wanted to like sell everything I have and like give it all to them. But then that's irresponsible, because if I sell everything I have, and that's like a tree, for example, and I cut it down and I sell it, it's irresponsible. You know why? Because if I leave the tree there and I build more trees, those trees will produce fruit, and I can continue giving that fruit to these causes. But I really encourage everyone, man. I mean, gosh, talk about an impact. Man, for me, it just like warmed my heart. You can help people see, you know what I mean, for nothing, for less than the cost of a date night. So that's my favorite charity right now. And on that note, like I really encourage everyone to give, right? Not because the more you give, the more you get. Because and that's entirely true, by the way. And I challenge anyone to tell me, man, I kept giving and I've never got anything back. No one's ever came up to me and told me that, by the way. So kind of internalize that for a minute. But I mean, I promise you, just if you think you've given enough, just try to give like a little bit more. And just watch. And you'll see people come up to me all the time, like, man, that was awesome. Thank you so much. My life is better, right? So you want to know one of the key secrets? Just keep giving.
That's great. That's such wise advice too. So I really appreciate it. And as far as the sitesavers.org, is that what you said it was?
Yeah, and you can even put that instead of my master class, man. Honestly,
Okay.
I'd rather be. I mean, my goal is to give the gift of vision to 1 million kids, blind children. You know what I mean? It's a lot of money, so I'm trying to really write that out because it's not a cute catchphrase. I'm trying to actually plan that out. It's tough. I mean, yeah, I'd like to do that. Opportunities open. You know, people ask me, like, I'm trying to build $1 billion brand. People ask me, like, what's your blueprint? Like, how are you going to do that? Truthfully, I don't have an exact blueprint, but I'll tell you what's happening. We're working hard. We're scaling. We're doing well. Opportunities present itself. I just got my first speaking engagement with Kevin Harrington. We want to do that. You know, we worked hard. Now we got invited to John Lee Dumas' Entrepreneur on Fire podcast. Keep working hard. Keep scaling. Keep having the right purpose. And opportunities present itself. And I'm getting closer to the kind of people who can help me really lay out that $1 billion blueprint. I'm already talking to a guy pretty frequently who's worth $500 million. So, and that connection came from just, you know, working hard but really having a why. Because truthfully, like, I can totally take the next couple of years off, to be honest with you. But I have a serious why. That's what really drives me to work every day. And my life was destroyed before I had a why. It was useless. It was miserable. I had chronic, crippling anxiety disorder. My life was a mess before I had a why for many, many years. And I suffered for many, many years. It was a long journey, but I implore everyone, if you don't have a powerful why, it should be the first thing you do, because once you have that, I mean, honestly, it's unstoppable. You really do.
I would love. Have you heard of the Thrive Conference?
I think I have.
I would love. I'm going to see if I can connect you with Cole Hatter and Sonia Hatter. Kevin Harrington spoke this past Thrive Conference, and so did John Lee Dumas. And the whole purpose of Thrive is figuring out how to take your existing businesses and make them for purpose. So make your money matter is its slogan. And that was basically everything you've hit on this entire time. You would be awesome as a speaker at that conference.
Oh yeah, I'd love to, man. Anything that can help people, because life is miserable when you have a while, man. Honestly, miserable. People are not happy. I had to make a decision with my wife, because you know this lifestyle is a lot of work. You know that. So, you know, family. You know, it's challenging for them too, because you know you're always. I mean, take a look at me now. Like I'm working on vacation. This is kind of a normal thing. And I had to make a decision. I said, listen, to make a comfortable life, living quietly. I can run some e-commerce store. We can do it well. We can probably only work a couple hours. Probably work 2 hours a day will be fine. Or we can go on this mission of really making an impact, helping orphans, helping blind children, helping entrepreneurs, you know, making a real positive impact in this world. There's a difficult decision. You know, a lot of other moving parts involved. But then once I really got a glimpse of the impact that entrepreneurs make, it was a no-brainer for me. And I'm just really humbled and honored to be an entrepreneur and to be able to, you know, all of us are given gifts, man. For some reason, I have these weird psychology of sales, and I understand what I'm just humbled and honored to use that to help really try to make the world a better place.
I love it. It's awesome. Well, I really appreciate you. Thank you so much for being on, sharing your story, and just sharing some advice with people. For those of you, again, watching live or watching the replay, please, down below, reach out to Akbar, and go to sightsavers.org. Go check that out immediately. I know I'm going to as soon as this ends. But really, really, really appreciate you, sir, and excited to see the amazing things you continue to do in the world.
Thanks, man. Thanks for having me.
Of course. Have a good one.